as you knew it is gone. How far will you go to bring it back?
As you know, my background right here. Sorry if there's any loud noise. I'll try to keep it as low as possible. Let's get to the topic at hand. Let's see what Harman Smith is doing right now. I'm surprised we made it this far.
Is it time for us to admit that Xbox is done? Like every time I see people talk about Xbox, it's always some big thing like, "Aha, Game Pass is such a good deal, guys," or like, they're on PC, so they can't possibly fail. Meanwhile, Game Pass subscriptions are not going up. They've been stuck at 25 million for a long time now. Hardware sales are flatlining, and the PC sales aren't doing all that hot either, right? The first party sales have tanked. There's really nothing in the foreseeable future to look forward from Xbox. And when you really look at like the long and short of things, when you look at how like the competition has caught up to Xbox when it comes to like its online play and its features and stuff like that, like when you really look at like the grand scheme of things, like Xbox is a declining brand. And I've been saying this for a long time, right? This has been true forever. But it really does kind of feel that we're in like that stage where
Let's see that. Nope. PC sales. Hmm. Okay. Alright, let's talk about that. First off, I've been on Google search for nearly more than an hour. I couldn't even validate what you're saying. Yes, there are some declining, but one of the reasons is everybody has already owned. Every single person in this world have their own PC. Also, if there are sales drops, one of the reasons is because of the nation. Or perhaps people have no money. Seriously, do you know how tech works, how expensive it is? Every tech, whether it's a camera, laptop, or anything, they're expensive. And I think repairing it is much worse. It doesn't help at all because to fix it sometimes requires more money. I know, I have experience with that. First thing you have to know is that games have two options: PC ports or emulation. And right now, both companies knew, I think both Microsoft and Sony knew that if they put everything on PC, gamers will not miss out. I miss out a lot of games in the PS4. Wanted to play Marvel Spider-Man, of which I know one of my viewers have a PS4, and I know some of you who are watching this, you don't have a PS4 or don't plan on buying one. It depends on preference. And I think Microsoft is doing good for the time being.
Xbox is going to leave the console industry fairly soon, hopefully within the next decade, right? If the numbers I've seen in regards to like the sales of the Series X are any indication, okay, let's be real here. It's weird to even admit that there's a new Xbox on the market. Like, how many people do you know who even know the Series X even exists? Right? Like, I own an Xbox One. I have no desire to upgrade. I have no desire to do anything. I have no desire to get one. Like, I haven't even considered it. Why?
But
Because I'm so disappointed with my Xbox One in general. Like, I had everything I wanted from it, which is basically like original Xbox emulation of stuff like Ninja Gaiden Black and the Dead or Alive games, which are undoubtedly fun. Like, I like.
whoa, wait. Folks, do you hear that? He has emulation. Harman, I thought you said you don't like emulation, then why do you have it? Also, not everybody in every world or in every country is going to own a PS5, Xbox, or even a PC. We have to buy what we can own based on our budget. Let's just say you buy those things. I mean, where are you gonna put it? And you also had to buy a TV. Oh, let me rephrase what I said. Even if you did buy either a PS5 or a PC or an Xbox, you still have to buy peripherals, like for example, monitor or TV, and also capture card if you want to stream it or perhaps even record something. And this is why there's benefits with a PC. And I think Microsoft did the right thing when it comes to posting or creating games on the console and then the PC. Every game is going to miss out if games are put on one platform. Like I said before, even you yourself need emulation. Not every console is going to last forever. I don't even know if my laptop here is going to last me, what, 10 years at best?
I got a lot of mileage out of my Xbox One. I certainly don't regret purchasing it, but at the same time,
Oh dear.
it isn't a good platform, right? Like it completely. I am completely disillusioned with the brand, with how they've treated their classic video game franchises, how they dealt with Halo, Gears of War, Rareware. Like Really, like I bought an Xbox expecting there to be like a bunch of like new Rareware games for me to play, and then I realized that like over the past 20 years, Microsoft has done jack and shit with the brand, right? It's so weird to talk about, but it is true. Like you,
Wait, let me check that. Let's try valid. Halo games. How many copies? So let's see. Let's look at the vintage. Now let's look at. I wonder. I couldn't even find what you're trying to validate. Another thing, what's up with all these autofocus? Seriously, bro, your camera is having a hard time focusing on you. Why don't you do us all a favor? Show gameplay footage that you have an Xbox, or you said you have a high-end PC. Why don't you edit that video on that PC? And no, we don't believe you. And I think the only reason you're doing this because, again, Nintendo. You're a fanboy. Keep that same energy.
I was expecting to find so many good things on Xbox, and there's really nothing there. Halo's irrelevant, Gears of War is irrelevant, Rareware is irrelevant, right? They're talking about like bringing Perfect Dark back.
Gears of War? Gears of War. How many copies? Sold? Okay. 41 units. Rareware? What game? Harman, I just got back on Google search. I found nothing. Halo, the recent one, Halo 4, just sold over 8 million. As for Gears of War, 41 million units. That's a lot. And how come there's still gameplay footage? Why don't you go to YouTube search, check Gears of War gameplay footage, check the views. You know what? Let's do that. Halo 4 gameplay. Let's see the recent one. Let's see. Okay. Oh. It's not that recent. Okay. This one's much more recent. And the highest one is a gameplay footage, which is 11 years ago. I believe this is where it was the first release. I think. Also, why don't we check Gears of War? Let's see. Gears of War gameplay. Okay, year ago. Okay, this is just. Let's see the highest one. The highest. Okay, this one, Gears 5. This was released 4 years ago, based on the timeline here. And how much? And also from Moist Critical. This one's what, 10 months ago. Hasn't been a year. But the highest one is here. Well, you see that there's still gameplay footage. What do you say to that? If it is irrelevant, why there's still people playing it? And look, they're not declining because of that, bro. I'm probably certain some of my viewers who are watching this already own an Xbox or perhaps a PS5 or a PC, and they have limited space or perhaps even limited funds. Even myself, I had no money left. To summarize, I'm trying to divide my money. Half I will use it for my savings, and the rest I will buy what I need.
Not gonna happen. Like what?
Well,
Like everybody is just in denial about what's happening here. That the brand has flatlined. It's done. Right? It's never going to recover. It's never going to be big again. I think there's going to be like one last big hurrah when like GTA 6 comes out and people like get on that, but I expect most people are just going to buy it on PlayStation and PC, right? Like I don't think there's really that much demand for an Xbox like from anyone, right? They haven't innovated enough. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything with hardware. They don't know how to make the Xbox brand appealing. They only ever were relevant because of their online features. Like, and now that they don't have that edge anymore, there's nothing more they can do. All they can do is just stagnate, and they're stagnating so much that I really don't expect that anybody like is buying an Xbox right now. It really does feel like a dead brand. And
okay, out of all that gibberish, let's rephrase that. Firstly, like I said at the start of the video, everyone already owns an Xbox or a PS5 or even a PC. Not everybody's gonna buy new stuff. Every new stuff is expensive. And yes, you may get it on sales, But still, you have to collect enough money for it to happen. And I'm still collecting enough money not just to go YouTube full time, but to upgrade my setup. And I know to upgrade a full-fledged gaming setup will take tons of money, thousands. I'm trying to save as best I can. As for GTA 6, I'm not gonna touch on that. Everyone has preference. Also to my viewers, question, do you guys own a PC, Xbox, or PS5? If so, let me know in the comments their specs. If you're on PC, if you're on Xbox, is it the Series X or the Series S? And tell me, how long did that last you when you first purchased it? Let me know in the comments.
Nobody wants to talk about this because this isn't what's supposed to happen. Like, what's supposed to happen is that like Nintendo is supposed to go bankrupt, and then Sony's gonna buy them, and then like, uh,
Firstly, a lot of long pauses. I don't even know how many counters I'm gonna put on you. Honestly, I have to ask, how did you get 1K subs? I look at your video, your thumbnail, they're not curiosity, they're not engaging. Titles, based on the vidIQ extension, it is too long. Tags are too short. Harman, it takes skills. Whatever it is you want to talk about, it takes skills, takes tons of editing, and I don't think you're even editing your video. That's a lot of bad autofocus based on what I'm seeing. And no one wants to admit. I'm not gonna admit it because you think I care? The only reason they don't admit because they don't care. I mean, you're the only one who cares. Seriously, you have to know that ratings is a different breed. Not everybody is gonna buy a Nintendo. And also, everyone has their own preferred budget. Just like myself.
it's gonna dominate the market like forever, and like PC like is going to be their main competition. Like that's what people think is going to happen, but like in reality it feels like both PlayStation and Xbox, especially Xbox, are becoming increasingly relevant because nobody really sees the value in buying these pieces of hardware anymore. There's no point. Like if you have the money, you're better off just buying a PC, and if you don't have the money, you're better off not buying a console at all. Right? That is a real issue here that they're having, is that like nobody wants to spend money on bullshit. All right. And that's what this all comes down to, is that the Xbox brand is bullshit.
Okay, first and foremost, let's retaliate back. If you have enough money, you might as well buy a PC. Or perhaps a console. Or, like this, if you have space, you have money, you can buy all of them at once. Or perhaps you can buy one by one in time, transform it into a full-fledged gaming PC setup. And if you don't have money at all, just buy one stuff. See how that argument can turn against you?
There is no value to it. There is no reason to invest in the brand. There is no reason to like to buy this thing and like get into it. You're better off simply just buying your games on Steam or buying them on Switch. Like there is no reason to own one, right? And I can't imagine that the vast majority of the audience feels differently than me. It feels as if most people are just they feel this way, but they won't admit it, right? They'll just kind of like say this thing that like, oh, I just prefer PC gaming, or I prefer playing on phones, but in reality, like they're not playing the Xbox because it's shit. Like it just isn't a good platform, right? And I would argue that was always true, but like these days it's like why does this brand even exist? Like, why is it relevant? Why is it here? Like, it's just like, why
Amazing.
is it even like trying to be competitive? Like, they keep talking like it is. They keep talking like they're gonna do something with Obsidian. Like Bethesda 10 years ago, they put out Sky.
Yeah, hold that thought. Okay, let's talk about that. It's a lot of gibberish I have to process. Okay, Harman, let's point out one thing. First, we have to know Microsoft, they're not just making Xbox. They have other projects. I mean, seriously, do you even know how industry works? I mean, yes, if you make one product, if it's boycott, that's a big problem. But if you make more than one, and if one is boycott and the other one is keep going or not boycott, that one item is going to make your sales. Microsoft is not creating just Xbox. They're creating software. Windows 11, Windows 10. And Windows 11's not been, it's been like 8 years, maybe more. I could be wrong. And every computer is going to need the support of Microsoft because of Windows. I'm pretty much certain they're still working on Windows 12. I could be wrong. Hopefully we will see Windows 12 in the near future. Seriously, there's a lot of autofocus. your autofocus is pretty much low. It's not even focusing.
Keep talking like they're gonna do something with Obsidian. Like Bethesda 10 years ago, they put out Skyrim, which was like what, the game of the generation for a lot of people. GTA 5 came out and like outsold it, but like for a lot of people, I think Skyrim really resonated with them because of like how basic bitch it was with like the fantasy setting and the open world and stuff like that. Like a lot of normies really love that game. Um, like they put out Starfield and it's a complete bomb, right? Like after the Microsoft acquisition. And I don't think Bethesda is ever going to recover from this, right? Like
Firstly, everyone, I know most commentary community, they just tap out at this point, but oh boy, I'm not sure if I'm gonna tap out. Everyone likes open world because, before I give you the answer, what do you guys do? Let's just say if you guys were in quarantine, what would you do? This is the reason why video games exist, or perhaps open world exists to begin with. I just got back about 2 years ago. The COVID lockdown was done, and it's more like what, a month or two, even though the restriction was lifted. But it took like what, 2 to 3 months to get everything done back? I got back from work after more than a month, or perhaps a month and a half after the lockdown. And trust me, it was a pain. It was pain and exhaustion, but it is what it is. Which is why many YouTubers will suggest which games that their viewers can play either longer or perhaps during quarantine or even more than 200 hours to keep them occupied at least. Because when you're playing games, sometimes time flies, and in just a blink of an eye, it's already been a month.
like Pete Hines has left, like a lot of high-ranking people at Bethesda have left. Like they're just never going to recover from like being owned by Microsoft. They have a very bad track record of maintaining their talent, of managing their talent, right? Like Starfield should 100% have been a Game of the Year nominee, and yet nothing. Like it's not going to win any awards. It's not talked about. Nobody likes this game. Everybody agrees it's like it's a piece of trash. Why did this happen? Right? It's because of the mismanagement at Xbox. It's because of the failures to innovate. It's because of the failures to do anything new or exciting or like to to evolve, right? It's the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, if we just release Call of Duty every year, people will keep buying. But that's not how it works, right? People want something new, right? Real gamers, people who don't just buy Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty, like we like innovation, we like change, we like new IPs, we like being surprised with like weird off-ball projects, right? We like discovering new things, and I feel like more and more that Microsoft in particular is not really offering any of that. Like every creative project they've tried to put out in the past several years has gone up in smoke. It has been a complete disaster, and more, I feel as if people don't really acknowledge it. I feel like people don't admit that Xbox is a failing brand and that its days are numbered because once Xbox goes, PlayStation and PC are sure to follow.
Okay, let's rephrase all that, since he just ended like that. Firstly, you think all those 3 games will be gone? Look, bro, if PC gone, how the hell you gonna record your video? Genius? I can point out several YouTubers who are using either a PS4 and an Xbox. Noisy Butters. She has what? She has a PS4 and an Xbox, if I recall. And there are many others. I'm pretty much certain Fertanga has a gaming PC. Joe from Seattle has his own PC. Hell, I know Optimus, a YouTuber, has a Nintendo Switch, has a PS4 or PS5 or an Xbox, and he says he has the best of both worlds, of which I'm gonna do that too. They're not declining, they're gonna be fine. If they do want to release games every year, they have to make sure it's perfect. When it comes to merging companies, there are some sacrifices that need to be made. I know some of you who are watching this have worked at these companies. So tell me, what was your experience? Not just working on Microsoft or perhaps Activision, but at any company in general that made what's called a merger or perhaps an acquisition. What was your experience? Let me know in the comments. And trust me, this is the reason why when it comes to work, every time a paycheck kicks in, I will immediately check every balance, print the receipt, because I know it's gonna be a long haul. Even though the Great Resignation doesn't arrive in Malaysia yet, but I had to be prepared for the worst. And one of them besides the Great Resignation is a lockdown, even though they won't announce it or won't happen, but you just have to be prepared for the worst. If you guys enjoy this, leave a like and subscribe. Apologies for the background noise or anything. I'll try to adjust the volume as best I can. More relevant content will be in the description down below. Includes my second channel. Oh yeah, a little bit side note, I'm creating a third channel for what's called a solidarity. By the time of this upload, it will already start. Also, right here is my second channel, in case if I forget that, and some past videos right here.